How's everybody this morning, this afternoon? I can't wait to nerd around with Berlin School. All right. Adri, Tavi, My Case, Dr. Cynthia, Midiphonic, Garen, and you made it. I hope you're not like losing points with your wife for carrying a Surface around and watching the stream. All right, we need a dog or kitty here. He's not in the room. He's out there with my wife, so no dog interruption unless he wants in to the room, which happens sometimes. So sound and video are working. Great. Should be a drone. All right. Hey, Rob, citizen. Gonna try and cast this to my lady's big telly. Good luck. I have a few exciting developments. I'm just going to noodle while I talk here. So one of the things I wanted to do was get the transposition working across the whole board, from the DAW out to the synths to the modular. I think I've got it. We'll find out today. We'll see if I screw it up. And a few other things. So this is about the midpoint for January. The idea was that I was going to learn over the course of January how to integrate and build a hybrid system, which I think I've successfully accomplished. I feel good about it. And we're about the midpoint. And so now I think I've got all the control points I need to do the kind of performances I want to do. Or pretty close. And so the back half of January, the last 2 weeks, I think, is going to be a whole lot of practice. And then maybe on the very last day, at some appropriate time when it's done, I'll just do like an in-home concert or something like that, which is a big goal, and it may not happen, but we'll see where that goes. All right. So I'm just going to make a little noise. Talk amongst yourself for a bit. Powell, greetings from Poland. Well, greetings from Boston. So welcome aboard. I'm just going to make a little noise for 5 or 10 minutes and then talk amongst yourselves. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Tag me if you can, or put a big letter Q at the beginning. I'll try and catch them. And let's make a little noise. All right. Remember what key I'm in. Nice, the Netherlands. Okay. Let's bring a pattern in. test. It's working. I'm not going to repeat that one to make it more intentional. So I think that works. So pardon me while I scroll back real quick here. What am I missing? Yeah, a couple jazz notes in there. That's okay. So sometimes I forget like just what key I'm in. I'm like, let's see. Hey, Jeff, stranger here myself. New people, cool. Let's see. 6 hours from Berlin. Anything pulled out? Let's see. Let's not forget. Oh, thanks, Adri. Yep, there is a Discord. You don't have to join. It's $1 a month, and if you just want to chat with me on a Discord somewhere, the Boston Modular and Synthesizer Discord is free, and I hang out there fairly often. But if you just want to hang with a bunch of middle-aged synth nerds, you can join the Patreon and hang out on our Discord server. Let's see. Daniel Albero. Hey, man. Catalonia, Spain. Cool. I'm glad I try and do the weekend ones earlier, so our UK and Europe friends can get in here and not lose any sleep. Let's see. Citizen. Nice. Okay. No questions. So that's an example of what I do. So that's the goal. I do it. Sometimes it's completely in the box. Sometimes it's just hardware. But for January, it's this hybrid system of a few synths in the box, some, monolithic synths, and the modular is new. I was in modular a while ago, got out, got back in November, and Christmas populated this thing for me. And I like Berlin School, and I like prog rock, and I like film music. So everything sort of merges together, and I'm learning how to drone a little bit from our friend Synchrotron. So let's talk about the instrumentation. So we've got a Moog Sub 37 here. This is my standard lead that I play. We've got the matriarch over here, which is doing drone duty. And I can't play leads on it because it's also doing the transposition. So when I play notes, so when I change the drone, everything follows the drone. Okay. And then the modular has 2 sequencers with 2 voices each that are basically, I have some patterns programmed in that I can modify as we're going, right? So you're hearing this stuff. Right, and I'll bring different ones in. I tend to work, in the Berlin School, I work with small repeating patterns, generally, not huge, long sequences. Excuse me, there's some, that's a garlic bagel for breakfast. I like to layer them. I like to apply way too much delay and reverb because that's the way it works for me. So that's coming from the modular, and we can move that around. We can reach in and manipulate stuff. Actually, I like that. We'll leave that set where it is. And then, actually, we'll let it keep running a little bit. There we go. And then hardware synth-wise, behind the camera, over in the collection there, wired up, there is a mini Moog. It's starting to drift out of tune because I think my wife turned the heat up. We'll see how long that lasts. There is a PPG style synth over there, which I didn't use in the last jam, but I've got another little brassy lead there. If we get into 80s territory, I'll start pulling that out. I've got this wave state. For just little sort of softer lines with a high bell. then this is new. This isn't something I've demonstrated in the stream before. I've got a summit over there. I'm going to turn the pattern down because I want you to hear this. So the summit is doing a pluck, sort of a mid-range soft pluck. All right. And let me finish this and I'll catch up on the chat. And it's got an arpeggiator on it, doing duckas, what I call duckas. It's eighth notes, an eighth note arp with the dotted eighth delay. And I'm using the controls in the push. It's going through Ableton to the summit. I'm not using the summit's arpeggiator. I'm using Ableton's arpeggiator because it has a setting where when you add a new note to an arpeggiation, it will reset the pattern. And what that lets me do is hold down one note and then play a melody with the other note. And the arpeggiation happens in this Berlin School style, but the notes I'm playing as the melody ring through and reset periodically. It sounds like. It's a nice technique. Right? To me, that sounds like it's right off of the Risky Business soundtrack. So you can play melodies while the ARP is running, and it's on a traditional ARP. If you're playing melodies, it'll miss some of the notes, and they won't sound. The Ableton arpeggiator will reset on note press and play that note immediately, especially if you've got the pattern set to arpeggiate down from the highest note. So it will, when I press a note, it resets. It looks, what's the highest note? Oh, it's the one that he's playing on the melody. I'll play that note. I'm sure other ARPs will do that, but the only one that I've got around right now is the Ableton one, so that's what I'm using. You can just hold it for the classic duckas. And then I've got the bass. That's my bass. I did a video on it if you want to learn how to make it. I like Progrock. So that's the instrumentation for today. So let's see. Last time I was a gamer was in the 80s, Rob. That's fine. I'm a child of the 80s and I'm still a gamer. So, different strokes. That's fine. Question. I have Ableton 11 Lite, Adri says. Is it worth buying Ableton 11 Intro with an upgrade to 12? Probably. It comes down to, so Lite is a weird bastard child. It has some things that Intro doesn't have, but it also has limitations that Intro doesn't have. That's a tough call. I would look at like the device list and compare. If you actually search for, if you Google Ableton edition differences or edition table, you can get a table with all the versions, and it'll show you what devices are in there and what you want, and like how many tracks it supports. Like I don't remember how many tracks Live Lite supports. I think Intro is like 8 audio and 8 MIDI, and you don't have the external synth, the external instrument device in Ableton Intro. And if you have external synths that you want to control from Ableton, you really want that thing, the external instrument device. So if Lite has it, I'd stay with Lite if you're going to be controlling a bunch of external synths. It's up to you. Live 12, I'm using the beta right now. It's got a lot of really awesome composing tools. So if you like devices that do generative stuff and will take, if you're maybe not the strongest music theory person, like I'm not, there's a bunch of new devices in 12 that are really great creative composition devices. If you use Reason and you're familiar with Reason's players, MIDI players, they've got a bunch of tools in Reason for doing composition and a bunch of tools that help you come up with melodies and harmonies and things like that. That's the new stuff in Ableton 12. So it's a judgment call, Adri. I'm not sure. Never too much delay and reverb, Jeff. That is absolutely correct. Yeah, the ability to integrate some synth VSTs, my case. Is that a light limitation? I don't know. Yeah. So, ducka is a professional word. Ducka, ducka, ducka. Right? I think that originated like 3 years ago. I don't know if in the industry, but I started using it when I did a video, one of the early Berlin School videos, and I got an animated image of Dr. Evil doing the dance, going ducka, ducka, ducka. Anyway, so it just stuck. Let's see. Amphonics, hey. Good ARP technique. Thank you very much. It's kind of like pedal point, yeah. If your ARP does pedal point, if it'll track new notes and reset at the beginning, it's basically pedal point. The way I play it, right? Because I hold a bass note, just let it sustain it. It will keep jumping back to that, so that's like your pedal. But that's okay. Let's see what else. Let me scroll further. That's fine. Voting for a video about the bass. There is a video about the bass. There's a video about how you can build it. Just search for Rick Bass Synth Seeker on YouTube, and you'll find there's a video on how I build it. So cool. Let's see, Surge XT. I don't know what that is, but I want example Surge XT. You'll have to explain that one in my case. I don't know what you mean. Anyway, so that's that. All right. I'm just going to make a little more noise here. What time is it? Oh, we're good on time. Let's do something else. I'm going to change the tempo slightly. Let's bring the tempo. Let's bring it up for a change. Like I always go down. Let's go up for a change. You can hear the delays. As I bring the tempo up, you can hear the delays wobble. 111 BPM. All right. So let's start with the modular patterns. I have one running here in the back. Let's bring it up. I like the sound of this. It's a little energetic though. Let's change its clock divider. All right, give that a minute for the reset to come around and get everything synced up again. That's better. All right. They're synced up. We'll start soft. You may occasionally hear the metronome clicking in my headphones getting picked up by the mic. This one. Helps if you hit record. Let's make the drone be a little buzzier. put a really basic bass line down. Be more sparse. Whoops. Get a little evil. loop. I just threw a loop in there just to see what would happen. Although it's too fast. Let's totally mangle it. I'm gonna bring the tempo back down. Let's put a groove in. Ready? It's all gonna go. All the delays are gonna freak out as we change the time. Here we go. That's a bit better groove-wise. right. So, yeah, bringing the drums in at that first tempo was not good, but bringing it down was a lot better. So, let's see. What do we got here? Oh, lots of chat. All right. Let's see here where we were. You're very interested in how we do the changes in the DAW. Sure. Hey, electronic symphonic. Hey, man. I'm going to guess that your Nick means that you want to arrange stuff, because that's what I want to do, right? The whole point of this, the transposition stuff is so I can do these arrangements, right? That was a good example of, I want to be able to establish patterns and motifs and then move them through the key, change the tonal center, right? And the way it works from the matriarch is the master controller. It's a drone. It is just the drone, the only sound it makes. And what's coming out of it is pitch CV is going into the modular. And basically, it's running from the modular into the sequencers. The modular isn't playing any leads. The modular is just playing sequenced patterns, right? 4 patterns, possibly more in the future. But and the sequencers are having the CV from the matriarch added to their sequenced pitches, but also being constrained to the key I'm in, which is D, C Dorian. Okay, so the sequencers are aware of the key, right? These are IntelliGel Metropolix. There's lots of sequencers that can do this, lots of oscillators that do it now. But so whenever I change the drone, it's basically an offset for the pitches of the sequencers, right? Then as far as the instrumentation that's in Ableton, so any MIDI loops that I've recorded for the synths themselves, the synths behind the camera in this, actually I'm not transposing the matriarch. That's why I played a few wrong notes, because I have to remember that after I transpose here, it's transposed here, but it's not transposed over on this keyboard. So I'm like, oops, sorry, sour note. That's not the interval I thought it was. But what happens is the MIDI coming out of the matriarch is going into Ableton, and I have some MIDI mappings to key change, to a transposition device on all of the instruments that I want to transpose, because not all of them, I don't want to transpose all of them, right? You don't want to transpose a drum track, for example, or if you're doing, samples or something like that. If you got a vocal part that's going to play back, like spoken word, you don't want it to suddenly turn into chipmunk voice when you transpose, right? But the MIDI coming out of the matriarch is going to Ableton. It's being mapped to transposition devices. And Ableton 12, you could do this in Ableton before version 12 as well, and I've done it for years. It involves using the scale plugin and sticking one on every track to constrain what scale you're in, and then your transpositions will stay in key. Ableton 12, like I said earlier, has a ton of new composing and arranging tools, and one of the things it does is the entire DAW is key aware. You can set a master key and master mode and root for the entire DAW, and then toggle on individual devices to whether they're going to listen to the global key, which is just freaking awesome. I can't wait till 12 comes out. The beta's a little buggy. I had a crash yesterday, but yeah, so that's how it works. I'm sorry, who's that? Electronic Symphonic. So yeah, for sure. Let's see. Because of PC issues, Rich had to clear the system and start over. That was an epic journey. He posted pictures on the Discord of when he was like reinstalling everything. Feel your pain. Let's see. Get away. Talk amongst yourselves. That's good. Bye. Oh, Andy left. He had to go be a spouse. That's good. That's a good thing. Let's see. Rob says, I have to say, what's the controversy about Current by Minimal? Is it good synth? I don't know Current, so I'm going to bypass that discussion. Let's see. Varieties of spice of life. Okay, you guys are talking about tools. That's good. Oh, there's a controversy about cloning. Yes. I made a video about my thoughts on that. I don't know. We'll let it go. And Emotion Music. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. I hope you heard some of what we just did. What are we doing? Yeah, let's see. Thank you, Rob. The lead can be good. Sometimes it's a little blue. Yeah, things are starting to work out pretty well. I'm liking the system. Now it's a matter of practicing, right? Because everything takes repetition. Both, repetition legitimizes your melodies and your progressions, and practice is practice. So I haven't internalized a lot of stuff. Like, where do I reach for, on the sequencer to add more ratcheting or whatever. I have to think about it. But it'll come with time, hopefully before the end of January. And by the magazine Computer Music has a free club. All right. Are you looking for gear? Is that what we're looking for? Software options. So, and hey, Brian's here. Hey, Mr. Funk. Here's a great teacher. Go check out Music Production Club with Brian Funk. Search for Music Production Club on YouTube. Brian is an excellent teacher. Let's see. I think that's about it then. Wow. What? No. Okay. Sorry. I misread a word and I thought MyCast was talking about mammograms, which, I'm married in 52. We're all about the mammograms in my house. So, all right. Let's not go there. How are we doing on time? We're about 9:50. I got about 10 minutes. Any questions about stuff, or I'm just going to noodle a bit? Maybe we'll do the opposite. We'll bring it down and we'll do just a drone. We'll get real spacey. I'll do that. Throw any questions up that you're interested in knowing. And if you think of questions later, just drop them on one of the videos. I watch all the videos. Whenever the notifications come up, I'll respond to what you ask. But all right, let's bring it way down. I've only got the matriarch set up to drone. So we're going to have drones with tinkling things going around. Okay. So let's go back to our patterns here. I'm going to talk over this one. Okay. We'll do stream of consciousness composing, right? So I've got this drone. I want to put a pattern over it, and I want the pattern to do something simple. So we'll start here. Stage pattern. Let's do this. Let's pull all the sliders down. All right. So we'll really start with nothing. And we'll start with an interval. I want 2 notes alternating and make an interval that I like. Dr. Cynthia, you're out. And got to feed the dogs. I understand. While the pattern's playing, you can just tune it to a sound you like. All right, so it's going from C to F, right? And that's a 4th, which I like because it's got a little bit of tension in it. Let's add one more note. We'll slowly build this pattern up to 8 stages. So the 3rd stage is turned off, so it's like a rest. Let me turn it on. Let's add a pitch to it. I like that. So let's really smear this out and make it real droney by adding too much reverb. So that's a simple pattern. Let's lay another simple pattern over it. for a second. Whoops. Don't accidentally hit the reset button. Play with some octaves here. We'll close the filter to take a little bite off it. Bring the drone back. Play a little melody over it. Try transposing it. We'll take it down or up, around. was intentional tension. Franche Musique. Hey, man. Started an hour ago, and I'm actually winding down, but I'll stick around if you have questions. Whoop. Don't kill the reverb tails when you shut off a part. There's a lesson. All right. So we've been going a little over an hour. I think that's probably good. Let's answer a few questions, and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to repeat this again tomorrow, do an hour at the same time. Let's see. All right. Don't tell Luke. We might get an encore. Nice. What about delay on the lead? It's there, but it's quarter note, and I should have tweaked it, but I didn't get around to it. The lead, something's off on the lead, actually. I think I bumped a knob, and I didn't save the preset, so it's a little screwy right now. But tomorrow, it's a iterative process. It'll get better over time. Which synth creates the bass that sounds almost like a bass guitar, Quattro Bahina. That is an instrument in Ableton Live that I built. If you go to the channel and search for Rick Bass and Synth Seeker on YouTube, you'll find a video I did like a year ago on exactly how do you make this bass sound. It involves a couple different sample libraries, but you have options. The video is really about how to build a bass guitar sound similar to mine, and then you can use, but I tell you exactly what I use, what presets, what libraries, and you can check it out and what I do to process it. So watch that video. So search for Rick Bass Synth Seeker. You should find it. Let's see. Yeah, so today was the first day I ever put a beat on any of this for all of January. Someone said on like day one, you really need a beat on it, and I just didn't, because I'm just not there yet. And today I had a moment, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just throw a loop in the background. We'll let it go. There's no variation on it, right? So, and I sort of rely on the synth parts to add the variation. So we'll see where that goes. And between now and the end of January, it'll evolve as well. So, my dad's a drummer, and I've always been ashamed that I use loops. So just because he's a drummer, there's nothing wrong with using loops, but let's see. Let's see. FM glitch. Check the community tab. Yep. Let's see. Animotion. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks for the encore. Awesome. I think we're basically done. You mix up your stuff with drums too. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, it's Berlin School, which a lot of times has no drums, but sometimes does, right? It varies. And I like Prog, which the influences here are apparent, and there's a lot of drums in Prog. And I like film music. So when I throw drums in, half the time it's like, timpani and like, giant Godzilla drums, not a drum kit. And sometimes it's a glitch kit, right? It's purely electronic, and I'm doing like, Brownian sort of generative drums. We'll just see what happens. Really, that's about it. So it's been an hour. Thanks very much. The reason the streams tend to be short is I haven't really streamed very much before January, and I don't want to burn out. And if I keep publishing a stream every day, people get sick of seeing them, right? So they're short. And if you don't want to watch the whole stream, I publish a highlight reel every day that's like 3 to 5 minutes of this is what I did yesterday, and you can watch it if you don't have time. I have a bunch of friends who are all doing January, and we've all agreed it's like I don't have time to watch all y'all's videos. I just don't, right? And the same is true in reciprocation, right? So we all have been trying to do like little short highlight reels to say here's a taste of what I did yesterday. Check it out. And if you can, you can. If you can't, don't sweat it. So, all right. Let's see. Classic Berlin Tampers, Progrock. Yeah, for sure. I think that's about it. I'm going to kill the stream. Thanks. I'll be back tomorrow or whenever. Leave a comment. If you make music, I want to hear it, right? So, when the channel playback finally processes, it takes like a day for the comments to show up, or 3 days, or sometimes a week. I will sometimes click through and go to your channels. So if you have videos on your channels, I'll probably see them. But if you don't, if you have like a Bandcamp thing, post a link, comment somewhere to your Bandcamp, because I totally want to hear it. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have fun. Hope the rest of your weekend is easy and or awesome. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.